Dear learners, welcome back to Swayam NPTEL course on library automation and networking. This is week 4, module 4, retrospective conversion, lecture number 20, and the title of this particular lecture is retrospective conversion, methods, prospects and case studies. Dear learners, we have discussed much about retrospective conversion in the last few sessions. As we know that it is simply you are converting a document which is available in an analog format to a digital format, non-machine readable format to a machine readable format, so that you need to follow some kind of tools, some kind of techniques, some kind of standards and policies, so that you will get a clear, accurate and without losing any kind of characteristics of that particular document into a machine readable, searchable, editable format. So when you do retrospective conversion, lot of things have to be planned, and you have to know what kind of standards you need to use for retrospective conversion. So it is not that simple that you just scan a document and put it in your database management system, making particular document details into a metadata field and making it readable and searchable. So there are a lot of activities and lot of procedures which are required as retrospective conversion proceeds. Apart from that, there is, we can say that before scanning and after scanning, or before conversion and after conversion, this pre and post conversion tools, techniques are different, that has to be followed in a proper manner. So when we use such kind of a materials, standards, we should know that these are all universally accepted and they are well established frameworks, so that you will not be having any kind of issues once you perform the retrospective conversion. So we have discussed all these things in detail, and I am very much confident that you will be able to perform retrospective conversions using a standard tools which are available as universally accepted. In this particular session, we will be discussing about different methods of retrospective conversion. That means how do we perform, or which method you will use for retrospective conversion. And there are prospects which are related to retrospective conversions at national and international or regional levels. And finally, we will look into some of the case studies in which the people have done the retrospective conversion, so that you will be very clear about how this particular activity has been performed in the libraries. So let us look into the different methods where you can follow this retrospective conversion. As we have seen that you will make a complete planning of your retrospective conversion, and then you will have to implement that. So for implementing, which method you will use? So this we have discussed as a small portion, that you have to decide whether this particular conversion will you do as your own or will you outsource it, or how do we making such kind of a data into digital format, whether we will do it manually or will you use some kind of a pre-mechanism that it has been already fed somewhere. So when we talk about an introduction part, as we know that libraries now become digital repositories, they have been converting such kind of a documents which are available on printed documents or written documents that have been converting into a digital format. So it can be any materials like manuscripts, rare materials, handwritten materials, heritage resources, anything can be part of that. So using this particular technology like retrospective conversions, libraries are able to cross or overcome the challenges which are related to physical boundaries. So once you perform the retrospective conversion, so this has been largely given a space for users to get an enhanced accessibility of resources without visiting the physical libraries. So when we talk about methods, as we discussed earlier, so we need to follow some kind of a method while going for a retrospective conversion. So we can say that there are three major methods we can adopt for performing retrospective conversion. The first method is in-house method. Second method is vendor contract method. And the last one is hybrid method. When we talk about the method of in-house retrospective conversion, as the name indicates, this we will be doing within the house, that means within the library. So that means your own staff will be performing the retrospective conversion procedures and processes. So when your own staff is adopting this retrospective conversion, the main objective of your staff is to convert the existing data into the machine readable data. The data is already existing in a catalog, then that option can be adopted. If it is not available as a catalog, the best method is to retrieve or to take such kind of a data directly from the document. So you can adopt any of these two methods in the in-house method, that is staff is performing the retrospective conversion. Staff can key the data either from the catalog which is already available or from the document as it is. So if you plan not for in-house, next method you can use it is to transfer or make this particular work done by a outside agency. So you can always outsource your work. So that means the retrospective conversion will be performing on behalf of you by an external agency. So that we call it as outsourcing of retrospective conversion procedures or processes. In the case of outsourcing method, normally if the library is not having peripherals or the gadgets, or if they don't have softwares and hardwares and the tools which are supporting for retrospective conversion, or if they lack infrastructure, of if they don't have proper number of manpower, that means shortage of staff, in such cases the library can adopt outsourcing mechanism or vendor contract so that they can hire someone for doing this particular activity. In such cases, the cost associated with the complete process will be borne by that particular library, as well as this particular amount will be charged based on the collection in which they are going to convert. That means they will be having a different pricing system or a models for performing a retrospective conversion based on the number of collection or nature of complexity, etc. So you can always depend either your own staff, there you can reduce the cost of or the expenditure for doing the retrospective conversion, but if you have a limitation in that manner, you can always go for a vendor or an outsourcing agency so that on behalf of you they will be performing. But comparatively the price which are involved, the cost of work will be involved in the in-house will be less when compared to the outsourcing agency. And if you are not following these two methods, you can go for a hybrid method where some of the parts of the work will be done by your own staff, and where you have a limitation, where you have a shortage or a lack, then you can do such kind of a works by a particular agency. So that we call it as hybrid method, where you will make use of your own staff, where you reduce the cost of that particular effort or the activity, and the remaining thing where you have a shortage or limitation will be given to a particular agency, those who are coming from outside, or they will be charged for your work. So dear learners, at the time of planning itself, you should be very clear about the method in which you are going to adopt, whether it is in-house, whether you are following for a vendor contract, or whether you are following both the methods, like half of the portion, half of the work will be done by your own staff, and the remaining one which is very much complex will be done by the outsourcing staff. So any of the method you have to be selected while preparing your planning and implementation procedures. Dear learners, now we will look into prospects of retrospective conversions. So we can divide the prospects into two different criteria. One can be in the category of local consideration, and the other prospects in the category of regional, national or international perspective. The first advantage or prospect is retrospective conversion create a database for local automation system. That means your library is getting a document collection or bibliographical details or metadata collection, that is a prerequisite for library automation. So you are creating a local tool or local mechanism for making your library automation procedures. And also with this, as an individual library, you will be able to provide an effective and efficient services to the users. As we know that once you created all the data in a machine readable format, definitely it improves the internal library operations such as library services, library activities, housekeeping operations. So all these data can be utilized. So these integration procedures will help to improve the efficiency of internal operations. Apart from that, as an additional services, or it can generate some special products. Say for example, when you are using this particular data, automatically your reports, statistics, etc. can be also created as a byproduct. So when you are talking about retrospective conversion, so once you have been converted, so you no need to keep both the things. That means parallelly you don't need to create a manual system as well as the automated system. So once the automated system is already available, suppose if you want to create a document of that, you can just create a printout of that. You can just generate a printout and keep it with you as a file. You no need to parallelly write and create automated things. So this cost of parallel mechanism can be drastically reduced when you go for a retrospective conversion. So this is one of the other prospects which are related to local consideration. And another advantage is it can also give a flexibility in changing the system. So whenever you plan to change any of the methods, say for example you were using a circulation system without barcoding. So now you are planning to have barcoding or RFID, so your data is already available. So you can use that particular data so that this particular work can be done properly. It can also maximize the return on automation procedures. So once you have done the automation, all the activities related to automation can be supported with the data which are part of retrospective conversion, so that the efficiency can be improved. Of course, it always protects the library database because you already have a data in your computer. It can be multiplicated or it can be duplicated, so that you will never lose the data. It can protect the data as it is. And it is always a tool for you to go for a modernization. Suppose you are adopting any of the technologies for information communication technology or digital technology or whatever advanced technology or trends, you always need to have some kind of a data in your hand. So this retrospective conversion will always help you to keep up the trend or cope up with the changing technology advancements. It also achieves collocation, authority control and referencing questions also. That means you don't need to worry about all the supporting documents or the reports, statistics which are associated with this particular data, that will be automatically available to you. So you will be having some kind of a complete advantage once you do with this particular point of view as retrospective conversion process. So now let us look into the international level or regional level or national level, how this particular retrospective conversion will be beneficial. So it can be helpful in creating union databases and also sharing of bibliographical data within the libraries or among the libraries at national or international level. It also facilitates collection rationalization. That means a particular library, what is the collection, what are the holdings, and all the details of that particular library's collection will be known at national and international levels. And there can be a universal bibliographical control because you are having a data in the public domain, so it can contribute to the universal bibliographic control. It also enables with the networks, because the data is available in the machine readable format, a network can be also been developed. So dear learners, these are the prospects at national, regional, international levels as well as local considerations. So now we have seen the methods of retrospective conversion, any method you can adopt for betterment, and also we need to have some kind of consideration. And also what are the benefits or what are the advantages or prospects of retrospective conversion also we have discussed in detail. So we have covered almost all the areas of retrospective conversion. So now let us look into some of the case studies. There are many organizations, they have done this particular retrospective conversion using all the standards, policies and principles, and they have been taken many years to reach to their objective or the goal. And there are some successful case studies which will be taken, and after that we will take one or two case studies to understand more how these people have done their work. one of the examples for such kind of a case study is the British Library's Turnings Page project. The other case study is Harvard University Library's Hollis catalog conversion. Then the next one is the New York Public Library's digital collections. And also the Library of Congress NDNP program, that is National Digital Newspaper Program. So these are all some of the case studies which we can discuss, or which we can take it as a sample for retrospective conversion in a successful and efficient manner. Let us discuss in detail one of the ambitious project of the Library of Congress NDNP project. So we will see in as live. So you can just click on this particular link. So you can just type this URL address. So I am just clicking on this link. So this will be taking into Library of Congress. That means their digital collections here you can see. So when you talk about retrospective conversion, they have many collections, how they have scanned it and how they have followed the procedures, standard formats, how they are using such kind of a tools and technologies, how their visibility has been enhanced. So we are looking into this particular point of view. So they have a complete collection of newspaper which are very old, like 100 years back, how they have done the retrospective conversion without losing its beauty, attractiveness and characteristics. Let us look into this particular database. So here you can say Farm Security Administration, Office of War Information. So this is the Library of Congress web page. It is showing that the digital collection of their resources. So when you look into this, as I told you that they have completely digitized even 100 years old newspaper and they made a database. So how they have done the retrospective conversion, so you can just look into this particular collection. So we will be amazed to see that how they have done such kind of a retrospective conversion without losing its beauty and the attractiveness, and even without losing its characters and the letters which are available. So they have used many of the technologies to make such a system very perfectly. So you can just click on this Chronic America, Historic and American newspaper. So this is published in 1924, almost 100 years old. So when you click on this particular page, so it will show you so it is showing the first page of this particular newspaper, where you can see it as an image. You can scroll it and you can make zoom also, so that you can read the title of this daily newspaper, and it is published in March 1924. So without losing the quality, without compromising with the compatibility, and without compromising the style, etc., they maintain this particular portal. Here you can see the options for finding out this particular material in the form of image, or image with a text, or even in the PDF format. If you prefer to have there are 8 pages in this, you can go to individual pages, or you can make even the PDF of this particular document so that you can read it in one go. And even if you wanted to move the pages, you have that options, and you wanted to see all the issues of this particular newspaper, that is also possible. And even you can view as single image, list, gallery, grid, slideshow, etc. And I'm just looking on this PDF format. I'm just clicking on PDF. Here you will be getting the PDF format. That means this availability of this particular document is either in the image or in the PDF format, or image plus text format, so that you can find out how this particular page has come. Suppose if you wanted to download, you can download the PDF, so that this single page has come. And also you have the options to find out all the metadata or bibliographical details related to that particular document. That means one particular newspaper, all its printed formats or PDF or image format which is highly quality in nature, and also all the bibliographical details which are related to this particular document also been seen. So they have done it in a wonderful manner in which they have adopted all the metadata standard formats, and they have additional metadata formats like MOD, mark in XML format, and also they have categories like dates, country wise or city wise, language wise, the subject of this particular news, everything has been completely mentioned. And even if you have a freedom to search for a particular document or search for a particular newspaper in which a particular piece of news is coming, so that also very much possible using a keyword search option. So this is the complete scenario where this Library of Congress has made the retrospective conversion in a very effective manner. So you can even search. So you can even find out how this 100 years ago today and collection items. So here you can see the searching options where you can make any kind of advanced search or basic search, or you are looking for a particular piece of news which are appeared in different times. What are the news which are available on a particular subject area? So each permutation, combination, filtration, everything is possible using this particular retrospective conversion. They have done the retrospective conversions following or adopting all the standards which are meant for retrospective conversion at each levels. So let me show you one more example. That is the New York Public Library's digital library collections. You can just see the link here. Just click on digitalcollections.nvpl.org. You can just type this URL digitalcollections.nypl.org. So you will be taken to the home page of this particular website where you can see all the digital collections of New York Public Library. So how they have categorized. They have recently digitized items. You can click on this particular image and how this particular image has been scanned or made the retrospective conversion. You can zoom it, you can rotate it, and even you have the options to print also. And also the biggest advantage is you can have all the metadata details or the bibliographical details which are associated with this particular document in a systematic manner. Here you can see the item data, title, name, collection, dates and origin, library location, topics, in which language, and all the copyrighted statement, etc. So this is what, when we talk about retrospective conversion, so we need to follow some standards, we need to follow some kind of a policies, procedures, principles, so that it can be interoperable. That means even if you wanted to transfer your data or compatible with the technological advancement, so you need to follow the standards, the policies, and even the frameworks which are adopted at national and international levels. So dear learners, with this let me conclude this particular session on retrospective conversions, methods and case studies, and also the prospects. So as we know that retrospective conversion is having a crucial role in any of the libraries when they wanted to automate their libraries. So library automation prerequisite tool is retrospective conversions. So unless until you have the data in a digital format or a machine readable format, you won't be able to apply any kind of a technology where you can enhance the access, where you can provide more services to the users. And apart from that, users also will be having an enriched or enhanced user experiences to access any of the materials which are available in the libraries. as we know that there are many challenges in adopting retrospective conversion, because we need to have a proper planning on that. We need to follow all the guidelines, all the principles and the standards which are associated with metadata or data standards, data formats, preservation, copyright. These are all complex in nature but have to be followed. So once you followed all the metadata standards, all the procedures and framework which are approved or accepted international level, so that you will not be having any issues in the future. So if you adopt such kind of a technology, you will be giving an enhanced access so that your collections will always have a discoverability, searchability and more wider access. Dear learners, with this I hope that you got a complete idea of retrospective conversions, what are the tools available, what are the methods can be adopted, what are the techniques and technologies can be incorporated, so that you will be making an error-free and a perfect system of retrospective conversion, so that all the remaining activities or services or the part of automation procedures will be part of this retrospective conversion without affecting any of these issues. That means when you are familiar with the technologies which are accepted, the tools which are standardized, the policies, the principles which have been internationally accepted or they are well established. So while using or adapting such formalities and frameworks, you will be very much confident to do the retrospective conversion, so that you will not be having any such kind of issues in the future activities to be done for the users. Thank you.